All right, so the first one is silence is a strategy. What do I mean by that? Well, it exposes your own inner weakness before the world can use it against you, right? So if you have anxiety, if you have a fear of abandonment, if you get easily manipulated by somebody who criticizes you, rather than acting when that happens, staying silent exposes that to you and allows you to work with it. How do you do that? Literally by staying silent. So if you feel insecure in front of a person, the last thing you want to do is allow your thoughts to multiply, right? You're in front of somebody and you like them and you feel like they don't like you. And then new thoughts arise. And those thoughts always originate from your childhood, fear of abandonment, I'm not good enough. And the way to counteract that is learning how to stay silent. And the way to do that is not to be silent in the moment of being insecure. Is to be silent when they're not around. Practice silence on a daily basis. So that means when you're alone, you just say to yourself, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna stay silent. You're gonna observe your emotions, observe your sensations of the body, feel the breath, and allow the thoughts to arise. And when you stay silent while the thoughts arise, when you're talking to someone and they're trying to play you, manipulate you, or better yet, when you like the person, your insecurities arise. And if you practice staying still when you're alone, now when you're in front of that person, you're more relaxed, more at ease, and the manipulation strategies don't work on you. And the beauty about it is that you come across as more confident, more at ease with yourself. So remember, it exposes your inner weaknesses, which is a good thing. That's why I tell you guys to go to those meditation retreats, because it'll expose literally all of your weaknesses. And so when the mind grows still, it reveals what triggers it, such as fears, insecurities, or ego. So when you meditate, you'll notice that you think of random things. Those are not random things. The things you think about, or when you get distracted in meditation, are things that are very personal to you. You think of eating, you might think of traveling, you might think of smoking weed, you might think of smoking crack if you do crack, right? I don't give a fuck. But the point is, those are your fears, insecurities, and ego. And most people drown those thoughts through stimulation and validation, which only strengthens their dependence on others for control. In psychological terms, silence is a metacognition awareness observing itself, meaning your higher self, right? Your lower self is the selfish, criminal, addictive, compulsive, needy, creepy self that pushes people away. It's the self that double texts people. It's the self that pushes people away. It's a self that calls. It's a self that when you don't like them, they like you back. But then when you like them, they don't like you back. Why? Because that's your lower self. When you don't like the person, you behave the proper way, and for some reason, they like you. Why is that? Because you're tapping into your higher self. You're more what? At ease, more relaxed. So master this, and you master the impulses that make you predictable. And what's predictable? Not to them, but to you. You behave the same way when you like the person. You behave the same way when they reject you. You gotta learn how to reprogram that, and you reprogram it through silence. So the next time somebody rejects you, put the knife down, don't hurt them, and just observe the sensations of the breath. Because you can't think or react while being observing of sensation. It's almost impossible. That's why I tell you guys, check out those meditation retreats. I swear to God, when you go to those meditation retreats, you're gonna notice your behavior, everyone's gonna notice a big difference. And it's always that you're more attractive because your behavior is more relaxed. The next thing about silence is that it controls your nonverbal cues. The body leaks what the mind hides. What do I mean by that? Well, you might stay silent, but your face says everything, right? You might be like, okay, I'm stoic, but then your face is creepy. It's like, oh, I like this person, right? But you think you're acting confident, but your face and your voice, which is the most difficult thing to control actually, your voice tone, like betrays you. And that's why I tell you guys, the self is always coming through. Lower your reaction. Avoid wide smiles and slumped shoulders, like I do sometimes. This affects regulation. The ability to command your nervous system communicates. Whoever controls their expression controls the interaction. In psychology, this aligns with affect modulation, the process of managing the emotional data your body transmits. And this requires self-awareness. And you know what self-awareness means? When you have self-awareness, it just means you control yourself more. And that's why self-awareness, honestly, is when you're reacting, you know you're reacting, right? So for example, you know how people say, I blacked out and I smacked the shit out of them? Well, it's because they felt an emotion and then they reacted. What I'm telling you is feel the emotion and then just observe sensation. For example, I missed my flight, and that happens often. And when the lady says, sorry, sir, you missed your flight by 1 fucking minute, and then I have 2 options. I'm like, this fucking bitch, man. Or, okay, the Lexus, observe the sensation of the breath. Observe the sensation of the breath. But I feel my mind telling me, call her a bitch. I feel my mind saying, be angry. I feel my mind saying, imagine the money you just wasted. So what I say, no, I'm not gonna scratch the itch. What I'm gonna do is just observe sensation. I'm not gonna react, which you actually don't, you're not reinforcing that behavior. And then I say, okay, can I get another flight for next time? Or, okay, what am I gonna do now? I think about it. And then I think about it. I go home with my tail underneath me. But the point is that I didn't reinforce the impulsive self. Remember, the impulsive self is what people use to manipulate you. The impulsive self is the self that always self-sabotages you when you really like someone. And when people cannot control this, they see you as higher value. You seem more relaxed, more confident. And man comes across as more masculine, and the woman comes across as more feminine. So this effective regulation, the ability to command what your nervous system communicates, whoever controls the expression of the emotion controls the interaction. That's why when you don't like the person, you behave in a way that gets them to be nervous. There's always somebody nervous, and there's always somebody more relaxed. And that's the one who controls the power. But who's the one that's nervous? The one who is leaking out like nonverbal cues, like, oh, who's doing more things. Who's the one that's more calm? The relaxed one, the at ease one. So that's one thing. Control your nonverbal cues. And that's what I tell you guys, lower your nonverbal cues. If you're gonna smile like this, smile like this. If you're gonna laugh, haha, smile like haha, right? Don't exaggerate it, because that's really just nervous tension. The next one is meet someone who interests you. When you meet someone who interests you, hold back your thoughts. Do not let your imagination crown them too soon. When you meet someone you like, and they kind of resemble your type, you sort of say, oh my God, they're amazing. We're gonna go on a trip. We're gonna go to Mount Everest. We're gonna go hiking. We're gonna do all that shit. And that fantasy causes you to get attached to them. You can't do that until people you watch my channel. This emotional discipline, the regulation of desire before attachment, takes root. So how do you do that? Well, what I like to do is just tell myself, I don't know this person. You know, I don't know this person. Yeah, they're nice, they're amazing, but I don't know them. Like, calm down, Alexis. Yeah, they look like your ex. Yeah, they look like this. Yeah, they work out. Or maybe they play basketball. I'm like, oh, she plays basketball. I'm gonna go play basketball with her too. Calm down, Alexis. You don't know if she's a fucking psycho. You don't know if she can stab you. You don't know none of that. You're filling in the blanks based on what you want in life, based on your disappointment. So you gotta tamp down those thoughts with a little bit of realism. So this activates emotional regulation and allows your frontal cortex to balance the limbic system rush of excitement, right? Oh my God, they're amazing, they're amazing. That's your limbic system. Frontal cortex. Relax, creepazoid, relax, you don't know me. You don't know this person. This person they can have a boyfriend, they can have a girlfriend. You don't know that. You're just assuming shit. You call that confirmation bias. You like the way they make you feel, and so now you exaggerate it. But that's what makes you look crazy and needy and creepy. That's what makes them say, okay, this person likes me, but they don't even know me, you know? The quiet observer always sees more than the lost in enthusiasm. Keep your skepticism intact. It prevents emotional projection and preserves authority over your own feelings, because that's what you want. You want authority over your impulses, right? So when you meet someone, just calm the fuck down. You don't know this person. Like, you really don't know them, right? And the problem is that you think you do because of your insecurities. You're so unhappy. You have so much nervous tension, so much depression, that you just hope that anything that looks like your type presents to you, and you go deep, because the pain of reality is too intense, right? And silence, through observing those thoughts through meditation, allows you to be able to have that type of detachment, right? Next one is conceal interest until they earn it. Let the other person reveal their intention first. Now look, it doesn't mean that you don't show interest. For example, as a guy, you ask him out, right? You ask a girl out. But if she starts hesitating, calm the fuck down, right? So let the other person reveal their intentions first. Then mirror them subtly or slightly less. This is a power dynamic rooted in attachment theory. Those who invest slower maintain leverage. Even with food that you cook slowly are better. Food that you cook fast have more carcinogen in it, whatever the fuck you call that shit. It's less healthy for you. So those who invest slower maintain leverage. And also, when you go slower, it also reveals your insecurities, because you're gonna feel a compulsion to go fast. And usually, again, your compulsions to go fast, it's usually a reflection of just overall general unhappiness with your own life. If you're happy, you won't have the need to go fast. It's just that simple. So those who invest slower maintain leverage. Showing emotions too early is surrender. But how do you show emotions too early? When you're dissatisfied. Usually this dissatisfaction in relationships, because you could be happy without a relationship, but as soon as you get in a relationship, emotions from your past arise. And those emotions occurred when you were a creepy little child. And those emotions can be so intense that you just cannot control it because they come from your infancy. And whenever you feel the traumas from your past, you actually regress to your childlike state. And what's a childlike? Lack of control. Needing validation, black and white thinking. My mom is amazing, or my mom is horrible. There's no middle ground. There's no reading. There's no self-awareness. That's the last thing that children have, and that's the first thing that goes away when you allow yourself to get too eager. So just go slow. Keep your affection as a currency in the beginning. Right? And that requires self-control. That requires self-respect. You know, people say giving up sex is bad. I also think giving up and showing your emotions too quick is also as bad. They're equal, to be honest with you. So conceal those. And the concealment is the silence. You like them, but you just keep that shit to yourself. Trust me, they'll like you more. Last is alternate between presence and restraint. Speak when necessary. Withdraw when it adds weight to your silence. So if they fuck up, if they disrespect you, back away. But don't back away talking shit. Just back away. It hurts more. This balance cultivates a psychological contrast, a mix of availability and distance that draws other in while keeping them uncertainty. This is what I tell you guys. Let your unavailability do the dirty work for you. Have a life. Don't just be at home. This because I used to work at a drug rehab, and one of the things that causes people to have cravings is loneliness. You could have the best program, but if you're alone too much, the thoughts that cause you to start using drugs, they always come back. And what they notice is that as soon as you surround yourself with other people, those thoughts go away. So those thoughts are usually, in this case, is, oh my God, I like them. Understand that too much presence suppresses positive feelings to you. If they like you and you're always there, they're never really gonna be conscious of those feelings. Just stepping away, having a life, pulling away for like at least a week will allow those emotions to surface. It's almost like rats that come out at night or cockroaches that come out at night. Those emotions come out in your silence and when you're not there. But what happens? When you're insecure, you don't like being alone, because the silence of being alone causes your own insecurities to arise because you don't know how to manage it. That's why it's important to manage your emotions. So people chase what they cannot fully read, right? Silence used wisely is not passivity. It's not weakness. It's control disguised as being calm. It's actually controlling yourself and controlling the other person. Now, it's not the type of control that I mean in terms of like just being evil, but you could be evil with that shit if you want. I mean, it's the type of person that starts an argument with you, but then says, I don't want to talk to you right now. Let me go. You're arguing. It's infuriating, right? And if you do that shit, be careful, man, because it could be so manipulative that it can make people be more angry, right? So remember, presence is the words, right? Presence is pretty much them seeing you, getting to know you, but they won't develop the feelings for you when you're there. Yeah, you build up the feelings, but the feelings are always developed when you're not around, and most importantly, when they go to sleep and wake up in the morning. When they have that whole night's sleep of silence, usually they have dreams about you, and those dreams are about you. And the first time that happens, they wake up in love with you. And usually that happens when you're not there. That don't happen that you have a date and you dream about them. It happens because you haven't seen them for a while, and then you dream about them. Let me give you this, and this is actually really true. When I worked at a drug rehab, people who quit weed, crack, anything, when they didn't have the drug for a long time, you know what happened? They had dreams of the drug, and they would wake up with cravings for the dream. This only happens when you're not there. When you're not there, the body starts to crave what gave it dopamine, especially if it was a high dose of dopamine. And the dreams can be so vivid that they wake up the next day with a deep desire to use. You want to be that type of desire. Create that space. You know, if you want to be toxic, cancel. Let them wait to see you. And what you'll notice is the next time they see you, they might be more in love, similar to a crack craving. All right, people? Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfattraction.org, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed this video, check out my new course, The Commitment Formula. You could pre-order it right now, and you can get it at a discounted rate. This course is meant to help you get out of situationships. This course will help you to get into relationships, to get commitment. I mean, I've gotten a bunch of testimonies of women getting married, even having kids. I mean, a woman came up to me. They're like, "Look, Father Alex, this is you." I'm like, "That's not Father Alex, okay? Father Alex is a spiritual thing." And like, no, I have a kid. And because of your channel, I applied what you did. And now I have a kid. I've seen countless of stories. As toxic as you guys might see me, these strategies work to get commitment. Purchase it right now. There's no gimmicks, there's no games. This is meant to allow you to get the guy that you want, get married, and have kids, and you don't have to watch any other channel after this. Okay? And if you don't like it, just get your money back. Look, this is gonna be the best course I'm ever gonna make. And that says a lot. This is gonna be the best course I'm gonna make. So pre-order right now, or else I'm gonna have to close the channel. And don't forget, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfattraction.org right here and book a one-on-one phone call. Take care.